Hi, my name is Matthew Bellisario. Welcome to another edition of the Bellisario Sonic YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk a little bit about what we're listening to our records on. And so today, I wanted to give you a tour and show you what I'm listening to my records through. A lot of people out there, you know, if you watch a lot of these different videos in the vinyl community or record community, whatever you want to call it, a lot of people have these super hi-fi systems, very expensive, thousands of dollars spent on the turntable, the receiver, the speakers, your cartridge. You can spend $500, $1,000, $2,000 just on a cartridge. Now, most of us, like myself, who are working class people, don't have that kind of money. But we can get some pretty good sound, I think, from spending under $2,000 for your system. Now, I'm going to show you two different systems. One I have here in my living room, I'm going to show you first. Total cost of that I paid for it was about $1,750. Now, it may be a little more expensive to get the same thing now since everything is going up in price, especially on the receiver side. Now, here in my living room, I have a 5.1 surround sound system. I have a Denon receiver, and it's a AVRS 640H. Back when I bought it, it was only $300, but that was about 4 years ago. And now they're more expensive, and in my opinion, they don't have as many features on them now for the same price. But let me show you what I've got here on the turntable. I've got my Rega Planar 1, and I have an upgraded cartridge on there. Which works pretty well, gives it some better sound. I can't remember the name of the replacement there that I used, but it was about $100 to replace the one that came on it, which is only about a $35 or $39 cartridge. So it makes it sound quite a bit better. It's a little bit hotter output on it. So for here in the living room where I have a lot of people over, I have that going through a Bellari. You can see back there that red preamp. It's about $130 for that Bellari, and it is a PA 550 preamp. The reason why I like that here in the living room is it gives me a volume adjustment and it gives me a bass and treble adjustment, which I find to be pretty useful when I'm changing out different kinds of records. So if I'm listening to Jefferson Starship here, I can change my treble and my bass a little bit. If I bring up some of my jazz records, I can make fine adjustments on there and make it sound better. What I have here for speakers are floor standing speakers. They're Pioneers. Back when I bought those, 2018 or so, those were about $100 a speaker. They're Pioneer SPF S52s. I'll put links in the description below so that you can click on those, see what they are. A lot of this stuff is not available anymore, such as the speakers. There are newer versions of them now, so you won't find the exact same speakers like on Amazon or something like that. You might find them used, or you'll find a newer version. For my rear speakers, I also have Pioneers, and they're SPB S22s. So I have those back here in the back. My bookshelf speakers for my rear speakers. I have a nice Fluance DB12 for my subwoofer there, and so that works really well. It sounds really good. It gives me really nice bass response, and it's great for here in the living room for my 5.1 as well. So when I'm listening to, a 5.1 CD or DVD or Blu-ray, it sounds really good. It's great for movies as well. So I have that. Down here, here is the Denon that I have. I really like it. It's 150 watts, 5.2 channels, so you can put an extra subwoofer on there if you want. It also has a phono input, which a lot of the receivers today don't have. Again, currently I like using my own preamps, but if you needed to, you could plug your turntable directly into this guy. Now, again, this is not made anymore. There's newer versions out there. And from what I could tell looking on Amazon, they're quite a bit more money to get all these same inputs on a newer version. That was about $300. So in total, from what I just showed you, you're looking at about $1,750 for this system that's here in the living room, and also for you have a center channel here, this Pioneer, and these are all the same family of Pioneer speakers. That was a $100 center channel speaker. So all in all, it was about $1,750 plus tax for this system here in the living room that I just showed you. And again, this is a multi-use system, because I want to be able to listen to movies and that kind of stuff on it. So now I'm going to take you into my listening room, what I call my music room, and this is where I have a lot of my other records and so forth in here. But this system is completely different, and this system here is a much better system, in my opinion, for sitting down and listening to records stereo. So this is just a stereo setup. The heart of this system is these Yamaha speakers, which are absolutely fantastic. They are studio monitors, Yamaha HS8s. You can still buy them. They're about $400 a speaker. Worth every penny. They sound fantastic. What I do is I take my Fluance RT85, which is right here. I really dig this. This is a great turntable for 500 bucks. My Manii preamp there, this little silver box is a Manii preamp, and it's about $149 from Schitt Audio. Great sounding little preamp for what it is. I run my turntable into my preamp, come over here into a mixing board that I've had for quite a while. It's a Mackie Pro FX8 version 2. This, back when I bought it, was probably about 250 bucks. But Yamaha or Mackie now doesn't make that many now with this cool graphic EQ in it. And I like running it in through this Mackie board, so that if I want to, I can make slight adjustments on this EQ depending on what kind of a record I'm listening to. So again, I have a little bit of an adjustment there. And then I run them into the powered speakers there, these Yamaha HS8s. And again, these are fantastic. I would get these over most regular bookshelf speakers. They're just sound wonderful. And again, they're used in studios. You get a very pure, very true sound. And then, of course, it depends on what preamp you're going to run it through. And it also depends if you're running it through a board or something like this, which is going to alter the sound a little bit. But again, I use that EQ just to fine tune it, depending on whether I'm listening to a rock record, country record, jazz record. I may adjust it just a little bit. And again, ironically, this system in here is the same amount as the 5.1 system in there, because these speakers are more money. But altogether, this was about $1,750 bucks for this setup. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what I'm listening to my music on. And I'm really happy with this. When I want to come in here with a beer, sit down and really listen to a record, this is where I go. If I have a couple people over and we're all going to sit down and really want to sit, pay attention, listen to a good jazz record, this is the system that I listen to it on. And it sounds really good. No, it's not going to be up to the standard of a Michael Fremer system or one of these guys that has all this money to spend on equipment. But for a working class person, I can sit down and really enjoy listening to my records on this system. And again, to me, the real key to this system are the speakers. I spent the money on the speakers here. The turntable's pretty good. Again, I did a review on this Fluance. I prefer this over the Rega Planar 1 personally. I think it sounds better, has a better cartridge on it. I did a whole video on that if you want to go back and check that out. So that's all I have today. I just kind of wanted to give you an idea of what I'm listening to my music on, maybe give you some ideas out there on what kind of system you want to have. Again, 2 different systems for 2 entirely different purposes. Out in the living room, it's set up for 5.1. When I want to put on records when people come over, I've got more room for people to sit around. It still sounds pretty good. I've got the Rega in there, the Denon system, and those Pioneer speakers, and it sounds pretty good, especially when you're having people over, and it sounds really good for movies as well, and for 5.1. So for 5.1, music CDs or DVDs or Blu-rays or what have you. And then in here, this is set up purely for listening to stereo. So I've got this, set up straight in to my Mackie, get good sound through my HS8s there. I have an old Toshiba DVD CD player that I can also plug in through this Mackie, and I can listen to CDs in here as well. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you on the next time around.